Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on the day across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Saturday evening, August 19, 2023. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video, share it, subscribe and tap notification bell so that you'll be notified every time I post a brand new video. Feel free to leave a comment down in the comment section letting me know what the has been like in your year recently. Also feel free to ask any other related question that you might have about the future of the in your specific area. I respond to all comments and I really live for this stuff. Alright, so let us take a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening. We can still see that we have the tropical wave now to the west of Jamaica. We have a strong tropical wave right now that's affecting portions of the eastern Caribbean islands. We have that area of low pressure that has now been designated a tropical depression to the east of that strong tropical wave. And to the east of that tropical depression, we have another area of low pressure that has a chance of developing. If we take a look at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic before the sun went down, we can still see the clouds associated with that tropical wave off to the west of the island of Jamaica. We can see that that area of low pressure, that strong tropical wave across the eastern Caribbean, is bringing lots of showers and thunderstorms to sections of the Windward and Leeward Islands, anywhere from Guadeloupe southward, Dominica, Martinique, St. Lucia, Barbados, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, sections of Grenada, Trinidad and Tobago, even portions of northern Venezuela and Guyana might be getting in on some of that. And this system is actually organizing the more west it goes. With all of that warm sea surface temperature and lack of wind shear, it's definitely going to be developing the more west it goes. And to the east of that system, we have what's now designated as a tropical depression. And to the east of the tropical depression, we still have that airflow pressure that's bound to develop as well. Not to mention that other area that's just come off of Africa that's about to develop as well. So if we actually take a look at the tropical depression before we even get into the real meat of the matter, we can see that it is tropical depression number 6 and it is expected to move more towards the west northwest. They say at 16 miles per hour. It doesn't seem like it's going to be actually strengthening according to the US National Hurricane Center's cone. So I guess that's it for that. Hopefully it doesn't affect the Leeward Islands that much. However, as it relates to the other system, we now have a code red. We have the chances increasing up to 70% chance that this system might become something within the next 7 days, according to the US National Hurricane Center. It says shower and thunderstorm activity continues in association with an area of low pressure near the Windward Islands. Some additional development of this system is likely, and a tropical depression could form by early next week, while this system moves westward to west northwestward at 10 to 15 miles per hour over the eastern and central Caribbean Sea. Regardless of development, heavy rainfall is possible over portions of the Windward Islands during the next couple of days. Interest in the eastern and central Caribbean should monitor the progress of this system. And we can see that it has a 50% chance of formation within the next 2 days. So we shall see exactly what unfolds. We in Jamaica need to be paying close attention. If we even take a look at the Euro model, we can see that the system is represented by this L, the airflow pressure at the bottom right of the screen. And we can see what it is doing as time goes on. So this is about 1 p.m. on Sunday. It's going to be located to the south of Puerto Rico. Then 1 p.m. on a Monday seems to be to the south of Hispaniola, Dominican Republic, and Haiti, according to the Euro. By let's see, this is 1 p.m. on a Wednesday. Look at where it is. Looks to be, bringing most of the moisture into sections of Haiti and then maybe into portions of the Turks and Caicos by 1 p.m. on Thursday. So I guess it's going to be making more of a westward turn, then making more of a northern jog. That's according to the Euro model. What does the GFS show? So this is where it's at right now. And by, let's see, 1 p.m. on a Monday, it's going to be south of Hispaniola. Continue. Look what it does. It does something different from what the Euro is showing. The Euro showed that it went into Haiti. The GFS is showing that it's going into the Dominican Republic. I would be more to believing what the Euro is showing, considering that the Euro has been right all along in the motion of going towards the west. GFS yesterday actually had the system more into the Leeward Islands, portions of Puerto Rico, and portions of, let's say, the US and British Virgin Islands. So we can see that there has been a drastic change with the GFS forecast starting to lean in favor of more of what the euro has been showing all along. Either way, more than likely it's going to be caving into what the euro is showing, more going into Haiti. I heard some people on our Twitter and Instagram page highlighting the fact that it looks like it's making kind of a Hurricane Matthew kind of track. Hopefully that's not it. Hopefully Haiti is spared because we know that they cannot take this kind of system. And by 1 p.m. on Thursday, we see that it's to the north of the Caribbean Sea. And if we even take a look at the spaghetti model plots, this is from the EPS and this is from the GEFS. So we can see that definitely more of a westward jog, then to the north, possibly developing the more north it goes, and we see something similar on the other model. And we can see that in terms of intensity, this system is expected to become a tropical storm, with some of the members making it into the hurricane category. Hopefully, it actually remains as a tropical storm. Alright, so let us take a look at what was predicted for Saturday's forecast in yesterday's video. It was stated that we would have received some rainfall across sections of some eastern, western, and especially northern parishes in Jamaica. And if we actually had the maps to pull up, we would have seen that we indeed had some amount of rainfall across sections of some eastern parishes in Jamaica this morning. However, we only got to show the afternoon hours, and we see those sparkling white dots that represent lightning flashes, if not lightning strikes, especially across sections of some northern and western parishes. So we indeed got reports of rainfall across sections of St. Mary, St. Anne, Trelawney, sections of St. James, Hanover, St. Elizabeth, and even sections of northwestern St. Elizabeth. And we even had confirmation from one of our commenters, Jenna 993, stating raining on and off since about 1 p.m. in John's Hall, Montego Bay. Alright, so even if we take a look at the visible satellite images, we can see that yes, we indeed had that easterly flow of low level clouds that indeed became cumulonimbus clouds. That's where the thunderstorm came in, especially during the afternoon hours, especially across sections of some northern and western parishes. And we saw that even better on the infrared satellite images showing all of those sparkling white dots. And even right now, we can still see that we have some sparkling white dots offshore right there to the north of Portland. And if we even take a look at the Doppler radar images, we can see that yes, sections of Portland is spilling into sections of eastern St. Mary might be getting on some amount of rainfall at this time. And we can see some rainfall right there across sections of Westmoreland right there, wrapping up their afternoon convection. If we take a look at the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology's accumulated precipitation for the past 24 hours, we can see that yes, we indeed had some amount of rainfall across sections of the island tonight, mainly today, mainly across northern and western parishes in Jamaica, with some of that rainfall even right now across sections of some northeastern parishes. Taking a look at the temperatures right now, we can say we have 82 degrees Celsius or 82 degrees Fahrenheit in Kingston, 79 degrees Fahrenheit in Montego Bay. That's about the equivalent of between 26 and 27 degrees Celsius. As it relates to the temperature forecast for tomorrow, we can see Jamaica embedded in some slight yellows on the GFS, some slight oranges on the Euro. Either way, both of them represent 1 to 2 degrees Celsius above average temperatures for Sunday. And we see that the average temperatures for the month of August across Jamaica is about 91 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about the equivalent of 32 degrees Celsius. So if we should be receiving at least 1 to 2 degrees Celsius above normal temperatures for tomorrow, we should be receiving anywhere from 32 to 34 degrees Celsius at most. As relates to the dry air map, we can see that yes, we still have some amount of dry air across portions of the northeastern Caribbean, the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, the US and British Virgin Islands, with majority of the dry air right there across the northern main development region and to the northwest of Africa. That relates to the sarin dust. Yes, we still have some amount of sarin dust in it, the atmosphere across the Caribbean, as indicated by those slight browns. But the most intense sarin dust is right there, maybe to the east of Florida, right there to the northwest of Africa, as indicated by those darker shades of browns. And that is where we normally see that hazy sky and some respiratory illnesses being triggered in some people. As it relates to the wave forecast for tomorrow, we can see that Sunday 12 p.m. has most of Jamaica being surrounded by blues that represent up to 1.5 meter wavelengths, and that's due to the fact that the winds will be coming in from the east, not so strong, but they're definitely coming in from the east tomorrow, averaging up to 20 knots at most. And where do we see all of that air piling up? Where do we have those darker shades of blues? Across sections of some southern parishes in Jamaica. And we know what usually happens during the afternoon hours when we have all of that air piling up, when we have those least amount of winds across those spots. We have those cumulus clouds becoming cumulonimbus clouds, then we have those afternoon thunderstorms. So it looks to be that that will be taking place across sections of some southern parishes for tomorrow. And the wind shear seems to be coming in from the west southwest. So that afternoon convection that might come in for tomorrow might be, lingering even into the evening hours. So it might be some very well needed rain starting off in the afternoon and then, being blown off when the high cold tops get high up in the atmosphere. They're going to be blown off towards the east northeast. And then they're going to be lingering even more. If we actually take a look at the precipitation forecast for tomorrow, these maps from both the Euro and the GFS malls are showing 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is actually 9 a.m. Jamaica time. And we do see some amount of blues across sections of some northern parishes in Jamaica. So sections of Portland, St. Mary, St. Anne could indeed get in on some amount of rainfall, and we do see some of the blues right there across sections of some northern parishes on the Euromal. Jeff is a bit more robust. Skipping ahead to about a couple hours later, we see something very similar. This is 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Euro and GFS. This is actually 1 p.m. Jamaica time. And look at what we see. We see lots of blues across sections of some eastern, central, and western parishes, especially southern parishes in Jamaica. We see those darker shades of blues and even some greens in there, especially across sections of Clarendon and Manchester right there. And we see that on both the Euro and the JFS malls, and that is what we look for. We look for consensus. We look for where we see something similar on both maps. And both maps are showing something similar like this. It's very much certain that they're going to be receiving some amount of heavy showers, maybe even some isolated flash flooding. Who knows? Maybe even some more of that haily kind of weather that what we got the other day, brought about by that upper level low pressure. So definitely we're going to be in for some amount of rainfall, and the accumulated precipitation forecast confirms this. The GF is a bit more robust, showing up to 0.75 of an inch of rainfall for the next 24 hours, all the way up into 10 p.m. on Sunday. Euro is a bit less than that, showing up to 0.67 of an inch of rainfall up to that time as well. And we're indeed grateful that we're going to be getting in on some of that rainfall, considering that we're in the month of August. We usually receive up to almost 100 millimeters of rainfall in Kingston, while in Montego Bay we usually receive up to 5 inches of rainfall. Alright, so that's it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let's focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. So we can see a lot of showers and thunderstorms brought about by some clouds across sections of Cuba, sections of the Bahamas, southern Florida, sections of Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, sections of Colombia, Venezuela. Not to mention majority of the Windward and Leeward Islands, all courtesy of Invest 90L. So they're definitely going to be in for a stormy night as this system continues to develop right over them. And if we take a look at the Doppler radar images of the northeastern Caribbean, we know the Doppler radar images show the actual rainfall as opposed to the satellite images that show cloud cover. And we can see those northern bands associated with that era of disturbed weather. So sections of Puerto Rico, sections of Antigua and Barbuda, St. Barts, sections of Anguilla, Montserrat, Guadeloupe, Dominica, definitely getting in on some amount of rainfall tonight. And look at that trailing effect coming into sections of Guadeloupe and Dominica. So there might be some amount of flash flooding that takes place tonight as well. The Barbados radar is quite festive tonight as well. We see lots of rainfall coming into sections of Dominica, sections of St. Lucia, Martinique, sections of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and we can even see that across sections of Trinidad and Tobago, not to mention that very, southerly kind of flow across the island, even coming into sections of Barbados. And that is the fact that it's actually an era of low pressure. We can actually see some spin in it there as this system is trying to develop. And we see that better on this Doppler radar image. We can actually see the banding and the structuring of this area of low pressure as it continues to develop the more west it goes. So just like what the U.S. National Center says, we might just have a tropical depression or a tropical storm within the next couple of days. We can also see a lot of rainfall across sections of southern Florida, sections of Cuba, and we can see some rainfall right there to the north of the ABC Islands, not to mention sections of Guyana associated with that system. As related to the temperature forecast for tomorrow, we can start both the Euro and the GFS are showing that for 1 p.m. on Sunday, we have average to some slightly above normal temperatures anywhere from across the Gulf of Mexico into the Caribbean. As it relates to the wave forecast for tomorrow, we can see some purples across sections of the Caribbean, and that's gonna be all courtesy of the winds that are kicked up by that strong tropical wave that's trying to develop in the Caribbean. We can also see some more purple shades right there. And those are the spots that we have those systems. So it makes sense because these systems are actually kicking up the wind wherever we see those yellows, gold, and even reds. That's where we have the system kicking up the wind, the systems kicking up the wind, and bringing more, high wave heights. Even right here across portions of the northeastern Pacific, affecting portions of the Baja and California, even sections of Mexico associated with Hurricane Hillary. It makes sense. Lots of winds taking place right there. As it relates to the rain forecast now for tomorrow, both of these maps from the year and the GFS are showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 10 p.m. on Sunday. And we see some purples in there that represent up to 3 inches of rainfall or more on the Euromal. GF is a bit more robust. GF is showing up even up to 6 inches of rainfall, affecting portions of those areas. And that's going to be all courtesy of this area of low pressure. So definitely anywhere south of Antigua and Barbuda, Guadeloupe, Dominica, sections of Martinique, sections of St. Lucia, Barbados, sections of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, Trinidad and Tobago, sections of eastern Venezuela, sections of Guyana. Definitely going to be in for some amount of flood triggering rainfall. We can even see some of that intersections of Panama, Costa Rica as well. We do see some rainfall intersections of Florida associated with that tropical wave that the U.S. National Hurricane Center is monitoring for development as it moves westward into the Gulf of Mexico. We can also see that yes, we're indeed in for some amount of rainfall across sections of western Jamaica, sections of Nicaragua, Honduras, sections of Costa Rica, Panama, Colombia, and we see that on both the Euro and the GFS malls. I know that when we have consensus like this, the chances of it actually happening are much higher. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks.